Welcome back, everybody, to CALLOUS Draft Duel Round of 16 content. We've got our competitors vying for a spot in the quarterfinals, and here we have DarthTyros and Majestical. That's BluesEnergy playing on his alt. So, let's get straight into it. It's a best of 3, as you know, and as usual, if you want to see how we got here, a link to their draft is in the description. Here we go. Tyros on the bottom, Blues, as I said, Majestical on the top. Going to be an Entei lead and a Gengar lead. Both stay in. Hypnogar gambling right away with that 60-40 accuracy, but it's going to connect, and Entei is going to take a nap. Hariyama bulks up, and it has the balls to stay in against Slowbro that could just have Stab Psychic, and does. Cross Chop, even with the +1, doesn't crit, gets only 23%, and the Psychic obviously a lot more at 64. Follow-up Psychic resisted by Fori, not as exciting as he pulls it back to Jolteon, and Tyros pulls it back as well. Jolteon switches out rather than Baton passes out. Gyarados comes in for the Intimidate, but there's a lot of switching, and Regirock comes in as Gyarados opts to sub up. Earthquake, only about a third, even though it's super effective because Regirock's defense really is that good. Rock Slide connects, pops the sub, subs again, and this time wide and left, so Gyarados is safely behind the sub. Gonna go for Earthquake again. A little bit more than last time at 39%, but Regirock looks like it will always survive another one, pending a crit. Hariyama comes in thinking it'll be Rock Slide. He's correct, takes that just fine with the resistance, just 16%. And in comes Slowbro. But Yama not going to stick around. It gets a rest off, and we go from here. We know that the Fortress takes the Psychics well, but that's not what he goes for. It is a T-Wave this time. Speed reduction doesn't really matter, but the full power possibility is good. And there you go. It prevents the spike right there. It's going to be a substitute now from Dragonite as Gengar switches in, immediately Ice Punching it away, but the retaliation is Ice Beam, 40%, but no freeze. Entei reappears, Thunderbolt happens, about a third. And here's Gyarados switching in again. But the Entei wakes up now, and it is a Flamethrower, just 20% with the resistance and the high special defense. Slowbro comes in as a potential check. There's Dragon Dance. We know he's got at least Thunder Wave, but that can be blocked by sub. Therefore, understandably, he's just going to attack, Psychic. And he Calm Minds up in the Fori's face, who again is fully paralyzed and unable to get a spike down. And a crit surf. Terrible sequence there for Blues. Had 2 opportunities to get a spike, denied by the unlucky full powers, and then he gets critically hit because he would have survived a non-crit surf there and then had another opportunity to get a spike down. In a game where Tyros, well, I was going to say seemingly, but now confirmed, having shown the Grumpig, does not have a rapid spinner. Unfortunate for Blues that he never got the spike off. Probably would have in most cases. Nevertheless, Hypno finds a new target. This time Hypnosis makes the Grumpig go to sleep. Gyarados comes in again. And there is Dragon Dance. Going to go for Hidden Power rather than Dance again. And another critical hit, but nevertheless he does survive. Got to wonder if he should have gone for a second Dragon Dance there. He's at +1/+1. See if it'll be enough. It's going to be close on Regirock. Earthquake going to come up 2% short, and he's not able to dodge the Rock Slide. But like I said, I wonder, would it be different if he had gone for the second Dragon Dance rather than immediately attacking the Grumpig? Leaves us in a 3-3, though. This game has gotten a lot closer. Hypnosis has been dead on. For all the bad luck that Blues has had, he's been pretty damn accurate with a 60-40 Hypnosis here. Entei takes another nap, and this time, Slowbro is not around to check the Hariyama. We find out that it's Rest Talk, and that Cross Chop is boosted in its sleep by Guts as well, so he's going to hit pretty hard. Venusaur, however, does have a fighting resistance. Going to go for Swords Dance here. Cross Jump wide and left, and boosted Sludge Bomb there is going to do a lot. Cross Chop crits this time. However, Venusaur, faster. Wow, he doesn't go for Sludge Bomb again. What the fuck was that? He gave Blues the opportunity to Cross Chop kill him there. I don't get why you wouldn't Sludge Bomb. He must have thought Gengar was coming in, but man, is that an over prediction. Gengar with the revenge kill leaves us at 2-2. We still don't know the last poke for Blues. He goes Thunderbolt. Entei continues its nap. Goes Thunderbolt again, Entei. Waking up. Flamethrower. 53% crit would have been needed there, but it doesn't come. And there is the concession for DarthTyros. That's going to be the Game 1 victory for BluesEnergy, who's going to need to take one of the next two to earn his place in the quarterfinals. We move to Game 2. The players are in the same positions with Tyros on the bottom and BluesEnergy as Majestical on the top. So it's Milotic this time against Metagross. Cloyster comes in, and Hypnosis is going to miss for Tyros, not nearly as dead on with that as his opponent was in the previous game, though he does make Lantern take a nap as it switches in. However, that seems to be the sleep target that he wanted because it is Rest Talk. He finds Rest the first time and then kills an actual sleep turn the next time. Wakey Wakey, got to go for Surf, and it's going to hit a Sceptile. Not that exciting. Leaf Blade Retaliation on Zapdos, also unremarkable. Regice comes in to wall it. Thunderbolt just 18% in what is a sandless game. Lantern comes in, good Bolt Beam resist, underrated counter, but it's not such a good counter when it gets frozen. And it's going to stay frozen, but it has a lot of time to sit here and thaw if that's what he wants to do. And Tyros is pushing the issue. I'm very surprised that at no point has he switched here and just gone to Sceptile or something that actually threatens it. He's giving Blues a million opportunities to thaw here, and he finally does, but not clear why he gave him so many chances. As long as he doesn't refreeze, he could rest. He refreezes. Why not? This time he does switch. Here comes Espeon, and finally that prompts him out. So Dusclops is going to be the attempted counter, and it seems to work. Out goes Espeon. Shadow Ball there was aimed at it. Instead, it's going to hit Charizard, who's going to go for Sunny Day here. Another Shadow Ball, same damage as last time, 30% and a Specs drop. Had Charizard gone for a Fire attack there, it would have thawed the Lantern out, but that's not what he opted for. But he's going to do it now anyway because he knows that he can kill between the Blaze Boost and the Sun, and indeed Lantern bites it, as does Flygon with HP Ice. And things unraveling quickly for Blues here. Fire Blast kills Cloyster as well. He cannot stop this Charizard, seemingly. Another Fire Blast, this time without the Sun Boost. It doesn't kill, but damage very much done. It killed 3 pokes and nearly killed a 4th. Here's another Ice Beam. Not finding another freeze, not that he needs it. He does connect with Hypnosis, however. Going to put Dusclops out of commission for now. Hydro Pump, going to connect through in perfect accuracy as well. It is a Rest Talk Dusclops, so it doesn't hate being asleep. Nevertheless, one more Hydro Pump will kill it unless he can dodge, which he can. And he doesn't go for Sleep Talk. Hydro Pump misses again. Wakey Wakey and Rest. And Hydro Pump PP, all of a sudden, big issue. He's going to be out of them after firing 4 of them off into a Pressure Mon. So no more Hydro Pumps for Milotic. Ice Beam 32% as Dusclops continues to try to stall everything on the other side out and cling on to dear life. It wakes up and gets a burn off on Regice. Fair enough. Probably about to go right back to sleep. Alakazam going to be the response, and it is the obvious rest turn. Got to be careful about Sleep Talk Shadow Ball, but instead he's going to switch. And a good prediction for Tyros, thinking Meta's going to come in, and indeed hits him with Fire Punch. He's also going to crit the Dusclops on the re-entry with Fire Punch. Psychic 39%, safe from anything other than a Shadow Ball. He does not find the Shadow Ball, now very much in danger of Psychic, which is what he goes for. Fire Punch would kill, and does. Alakazam looking to push him off the cliff here. Needs to eat a Psychic and find Shadow Ball, but he does not survive the Psychic. And Tyros is going to 6-0 Game 2. This one not super close. And he is going to send us to a Game 3 where we play a one-game winner-take-all spot for the quarterfinal position. Tyros again on the bottom. And Majestical, one final time. Still BluesEnergy is going to be on the top. This game directly for a spot in the quarterfinals. Real quick, guys, you've been enjoying the tour. please consider donating to the tournament. You do that via joining the Discord server, link in the description, and clicking the PayPal link in there. I don't keep any of it. All the money goes into the prize pool, which is currently $400, and it supports the players, and it encourages me to come out of my mostly retired retirement and run tournaments like this in the future. So let me know if you've been enjoying it. Best way to support, you could certainly hit the like button, you could certainly subscribe, but the very best way to support is via donation. So I appreciate that. Alrighty, game 3. Winner take all, loser go home. Tyros on the bottom one final time, and on the top with a Jinx lead is BluesEnergy, but he doesn't like the matchup. Out he goes to a Steelix. Jinx returns, but so does Lax. Back to where we started, same play, same counter, whole loop of nothing so far. But the stalemate is broken by Wheezing, and that's going to roar out the Raikou, which is also probably super countered by Steelix, unless it has like HP Water or something. Even then, not an incredible matchup. Flamethrower there, however. Both pokes that have been shown by Blues are weak to fire, so no reason not to do that. It ends up hitting the Jinx, and there is a third fire weakness coming in Heracross. That's going to be countered, of course, by Wheezing. It does go for Swords Dance, but yeah, even at +2 with that big stab Mega Horn, it does only 44%. Haze comes down, SD now, and Flamethrower as retaliation, 47%. Connects with Mega Horn again, and he's going to be hazed down. Going to go for Swords Dance again, and immediately hazed. That's a net positive for Tyros, who gains lefties when this happens. Swords Dance haze again. Going nowhere. Swords Dance again. Haze again. All that's happening here is Tyros is gaining lefties, so he could do this all day. And indeed, he did click haze again, but Blues finally switched. Here comes Raichu making a Game 3 appearance. Well, it scares off the Vaporeon, and he's going to sub up. He's down to just 10% already. T-Bolt, even with stab, unremarkable against Ludicolo, being a special wall. And S-Toss obviously going to break the sub. Follow-up Thunderbolt. Lucky 10% para. But a substitute comes down there as well. Thunderbolt breaks it. And Synthesis comes down. So Ludi, full defense set here. S-Toss sub Synthesis, presumably Leech Seed as the last move with the Lax in mind. S-Toss does take out Raikou. And there is Curse, presumably a Leech Seed coming. And indeed, through the para and the imperfect accuracy, the Lax is seeded. Now Raikou comes down on a Synthesis. It can sub here, but S-Toss can break it. Instead, he's going to go for Calm Mind. Now we find out if he has HP Water or Fire. Much better and safer to get out of there for an obvious Earthquake turn. That's what he does. Here comes Wheezing. And he's going to Pain Split with the Vaporeon and get back up to full health after lefties. Lax comes in. Surf actually a pretty decent chunk there. That might be an offensive leaning Vaporeon to be doing that kind of damage. Yeah, and certainly to be taking that much from Body Slam, it's got to be some kind of offense leaning Vaporeon for sure. Body Slam also finds a para, so added effect paras have been cooperative here for Tyros. And he goes to Steelix. Reasonable counter. Body Slam there, just 9%. Unremarkable. Swampert comes in, so full team revealed for Tyros. Still a hidden poke in the back for Blues. Sleeping Umbreon out, Wheezing in. And Wheezing on Hera, totally fine with that matchup, especially when Wheezing has leftovers and Heracross does not. So he directs a Flamethrower that way. And here comes yet another Surf. Crit here would actually kill the Lax, which is unusual. It feels like Vaporeon shouldn't be able to do that, but here we are. And yet another added effect paralysis. This time on the Steelix. Curse comes down. And a full para. Can't let him set up too much. Hopefully he can roar him away. Earthquake 46%. Another full para. Blues has got to be getting frustrated. Earthquake. And yet another full paralysis. This is rough. Lax all of a sudden a way bigger problem than it needed to be. Ludicolo with Subseed intended to counter it. Steelix with Roar intended to counter it, but para fixes all. Both counters have been paralyzed and fully paralyzed, and all of a sudden, this Lax is a huge, huge problem. Body slam there, devastating, and yet another full para in what feels like an endless chain. And Ludicolo is down as well, and now all of a sudden, Blues is going to have to get really lucky to find a way to deal with the lax here. Flamethrower coming down. Good thing he got out of the way there. I think not risking it is the right play, but that was very disciplined, maybe too disciplined for many people's taste. Body slam and surf respectively. It's very hard for Lax to lose now. The Salamence DDing up and or the Heracross SDing up probably his best bet, but even then the Weezing is a prick to both of those. And the opportunities are running thin. Hidden power, body slam. He avoids para for once, so one more chance to crit him. And he doesn't find it. And Lax, I think, is going to clean this up. Heracross can maybe beat the Lax, but it's not going to beat the Weezing. And Tyros does not let himself get tricked with the double switch either. He stays in and body slams. Megahorn swings and misses. Body slam kills that as well. Vaporeon, the only guy standing, even if it were to beat the Lax, it's not going to beat the Raikou. And it's going to be DarthTyros on the back of Snorlax, a mon that many people think is among the top options in the format. Paralyzing its counters, BSing through his counters, and yeah, BS did not stand for body slam in that case, by the way. And Tyros is going to win this one in seemingly dominant fashion. There was definitely some RNG in that one, without a doubt. The paras were very, very relevant. Now, does Blues win if some of those paras, but not all of those paras happen? It's unclear. The Ludicolo was definitely not at all a win condition. It was a full stall set. Could it have dealt with the Lax? Maybe. Does it inevitably get parried at some point? Also maybe. The Steelix was a pretty reasonable counter, but same thing, it's going to get paralyzed, which is not a big deal. The bigger deal is the full paras at a bad time, and then obviously the fact that he's Curse EQ and specifically aiming at the Steelix helps. I feel like Blues did what he could do with what he had. Faster Sleepmon, Steelix counter, full dedicated Ludicolo counter, Salamence within Tim. I think he did what he could with what he had to try to neutralize the Lax, but the Lax still was a threat in the matchup despite all the things that Blues was trying to do. But as always, I'd like to know what you guys think. This was a pretty wild set, but the outcome is a 2-1 victory for Tyros, and he is going to lock up a spot in the quarterfinals. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I will see you guys in the next video.